Hey, what's going on, guys? Archer Mark here, and I'm back with another figure review for you. Today I have a Marvel Legends figure. This is the Scarlet Witch, and it's a very cool figure. It's from the Odin the All-Father Build-A-Figure wave, and part of the Maidens of Might little subset that's in this wave. Very pleased with this figure. It's really well done. We'll get more into that in a moment. First, let's show you the packaging. It's very typical of Marvel Legends packaging at this point. You know, there you see Build-A-Figure, the All-Father, Marvel logo. We got the Marvel Legends logo down there, Hasbro logo, see Maidens of Might, and we've got very cool artwork on the side. Here is the Captain Marvel image that we saw, and on this side the Scarlet Witch. Again, I mentioned this in the other review that I love this kind of black and white artwork that they put on this. I'm usually not a fan of black and white, but this looks really cool. I'll show you the back and a cool image of both figures. Of course, I already reviewed the Captain Marvel figure. If you want to see a review on that, please go back on my channel and check that out. Again, Marvel Legends logo, Marvel Maidens of Might. Whether commanding cosmic energy or hex magic, these heroes wield massive power. And down here we have other figures in the wave. I have the Hawkeye figure, which again I have a review of that as well. I don't plan on getting any of these other figures, so I probably won't be completing the Odin figure anytime soon. And as you see, there's a look at the completed figure if you want to see that. And we got Hasbro logos and Marvel logos, all that good fun stuff. So there is the packaging. Now on to the main reason, the figure, of course. And a really well done figure. I'll try and give you a full up and down 360. And she's very well sculpted and very well painted. Again, I think I lucked out and got a very cleanly painted version of this. Not too many huge paint mishaps. I love the sculpting on this cape. You have the red color and it's kind of the black wash going all through it, giving it a little more realistic look to it. All the folds in the cape, the way it drapes down. It's a very strong plastic. It's not very flexible, which can be a bad thing or it can be a good thing. And there's one reason why it's a good thing, that it's so sturdy, and I'll get into that in a moment. I do love the way it flows. You know, it's kind of little bends here, and it flows a little, flails out a little bit. And also the sculpting on the hair is great. Again, you have just kind of different paint variations, kind of a reddish brown hair and a little bit of black mixing, again making it look a little more realistic. Palette. Kind of flip it around. And nothing with the hairs. I love these little like hairs that are draping down over by her face and over this kind of like face mask thing. I just think that looks really neat. I just love the way that looks. Okay, so like I said, great figure. That's well sculpted. You have mostly a red outfit. She is the Scarlet Witch, so her outfit is mostly red. But you do have sort of slight variations on the paint, and of course down here you have the pink on her thighs. You have these leggings or tights or whatever they're meant to be. There's a little bit of weakness in the paint there because it's just, you could see some of the plastic underneath the color kind of bleeding through the pink, so that maybe a little more pink paint would have been good, but overall not bad. It's not where your focus is going to be on this figure, so it's not a big deal. The lines on, you see the upper part of the boots, very clean, very nicely done. And we got the high heels, we got the peg holes in the feet, which could be very useful if you have figure stands for 6-inch figures. This figure will greatly benefit from that, as female figures usually do. We'll go over the articulation. You have a ball-jointed neck, ball-hinge shoulders, and one thing is the joint is painted the skin tone, so it blends in a little bit. I mean, you can still see it, but that's good that blends in, so that's good. You have hinge joints on the elbows, no bicep swivel, but you do have a swivel on the elbow, so move back and forth. The hands are both in ball jointed, so they will swivel, they will hinge in and out, so you got good range of movement there. And of course, you know, her hands are sculpted in that kind of like hex power pose there, which I like. It's really well done. Ball jointed upper torso, which moves really well. So you got a lot of movement there. You have the in and out movement joints of the thighs, you know. You get the upper thigh swivel. You have legs can move forward and backwards, more forward than back. You know, that's about all you can get there, but still a decent range of movement. The double hinge joints on the knees. You have hinge joints on the ankles and ankle pivot, but they are very tight, and don't want to risk breaking them. So so that's all the articulation there. Not bad overall. In fact, pretty good for a female figure. I keep saying that. I shouldn't say that. Marvel Legends figures are overall good. The joints on the legs are a little, not loose, but they're not as tight as the upper parts. The shoulders are a little tighter, but you can get some movement. The elbow joints are really tight. I can barely get them to move. And again, you want to be careful with stuff like that because you don't want to break your figures. The wrists are good. So, and like I said, the upper torso joint is good. So so you have that the legs are a little better. The upper joints are a little tighter. But you play around with it, and you can get her in some great poses. You get her in the pose that you want, but you do have to be careful because you don't want to break the joints. One big drawback, and this is something that you get with any character with long hair, is the head joint. And it is a ball joint, but there's very little movement you can get. She can go, it's a ball joint, so it'll go side to side and up and down, but it's very much hindered. There's very little movement. You have to see, you just pop the head off. If you try and get it to move too much, it's just the head is just going to come right off. So that is a disappointment. That's one thing, but it's like I said, it's something when you have characters like that have long hair and they have capes, the articulation is hindered. It's just something that you have to live with. There's not two ways, other ways of doing it. So that's the major drawback with this figure. But overall, you can get her into some poses, but it is what it is. So, but still a really well done figure. Now also, I've mentioned this before with female characters, is that the standing. Most of the time they will have high heels and boots and stuff like that, which makes it a little difficult to stand. I did play around with this figure a little bit, and I was able to get her to stand without the use of the cape. But that's one thing, like I mentioned, the cape is a strong, sturdy plastic, and you basically can kind of use it as like a crutch to help her stand. You can get her to stand without the cape if you kind of play around with it a little. But basically, she'll stand pretty well like that with the cape. As you'll see, take this, and then you see the cape is touching the floor, and that's basically holding her up. But like I said, if you play around with it enough, you can get her to stand without it, but it's difficult. Okay, so like I said, so that's the one good thing about the cape being not a flexible material. It's very rigid. Okay, she does come with a lot of accessories. Most of which are the Build-A-Figure parts. So you have, I'll show you, there's two versions of Odin that you could do depending on which figure you want and which way you want to go with the figure. Two different looks. Now you have this cape, which is basically the same as the cape that came with Captain Marvel. It's just a different color. See, it's blue, and these pieces here are painted gold, whereas here's the Captain Marvel one. See, it's like a reddish brown maroon color and with silver, but it's basically the same cape. Okay, so you have that, and then this is this like staff, and it's nicely sculpted. It's all one color. There's no extra paint apps or anything like this, but it's, you know, it's very long, as you can see. You know, like I said, I don't plan on getting all the parts to build the Odin figure. It just doesn't interest me. So I will give you a look at the Build-A-Figure parts here. Okay. So as you can see, it is nicely sculpted. So it would look really cool with that Odin figure when you have them complete, if you plan on getting all the figures in the wave. So you have that, and then you have this alternate head sculpt, which is just really badass. It's just really cool. It's a lot more interesting than the other one. I'll show you. This is the head sculpt that comes with the Captain Marvel, and you can see there's the two head sculpts next to each other. Just this one is definitely the better one. It just looks cooler. This one just looks weird. I don't know. But this helmet with the horns, the eye patch, and the gray beard looks a lot better. But again, just to give you a good look at what those parts are. So now, as far as the Scarlet Witch herself, she comes with these two pieces, these kind of translucent pinkish, purplish pieces of plastic, and it's basically meant to show her hex powers. And you get two of these. They're pretty much the same, and you know, they attach to her wrists, which I will show you in a moment. Now you can you got these bigger circles, which you can kind of put around her wrists, and you can put them like this, and you know, it'll stay on there for if you want something really quick, or you could put these kind of in her hands, and you know, that's just a quick option. But then the main option that they show, if you take her wrists off, and I want to, come on, don't want to break those. I don't want to be doing this very often. So you have these small holes here, which fit around the arm. And those basically go there, and then if you put her hand back on, okay, so that kind of positions them like that, and again, it's supposed to simulate her using her hex powers, and, you know. So again, you have that option of however you want to do it. If you want to have her displayed like that, if you want to have her displayed without them, you know, you could do that as well. If you want to use this method, just to keep it simple, because again, you want to be careful of taking that wrist and putting it on and off too many times. You don't want to risk breaking it. So I probably won't display her with these, or maybe if I do it, I'll do it like this, so I'm not taking the wrist on and off. But they're cool pieces. They're nicely sculpted, and they look, you know, you can imagine that's how her hex powers would look. So overall, again, they're great accessories that really add to the overall look of the figure, and it's just up to you if you want to display her with that or not. So there you go. That's it. The Marvel Legends Scarlet Witch figure. It's a great figure, definitely worth adding to your collection. And it's, again, it would be nice if down the line we got a movie version, but this is certainly a comic version, and it's really nice to have this. Who knows, once the movie comes out, maybe Hasbro will start to work and we'll get movie versions of the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver as well. But for now, we have this figure, which is a great figure, and you know, hunt her down if you get lucky at the retail stores, or again, there's also always the online retailers, you know, eBay and Amazon and Big Bad Toy Store, and all those countless places where you can get figures online nowadays. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this review. As usual, comment, rate, subscribe, and until my next video, So long, and have a good day.